Why does it seem like saying no is the hardest thing in the world for some of us? Well, one reason is that from the time we're little kids, we're raised with the expectation that saying no is somehow bad. In my family, and probably in yours too, saying no earns you the title of being stubborn or uncooperative. And as you get older, saying no means you're not a team player. The problem is you can't say yes to everything, at least not without driving yourself crazy. By not exercising the power of no, you open yourself up to stress, which not only impacts the way you live your life, but it impacts your health in general. So how do you learn how to say no when you're completely hardwired to say yes? Well, first of all, saying no makes you a priority. We all only get 24 hours in a day, and chances are you actually want to sleep during some of that time. So what you do with the remainder of the day, with the rest of those 24 hours, is important just because you don't have the resources to spend in saying yes to everyone. You have to decide whether it's worth your time or if your time could be spent better doing something else. Secondly, no isn't a rejection. Just because you're turning down a project or an outing with friends, that doesn't mean you're somehow negating who the person is who did the asking. Saying no to your best friend doesn't make them any less your best friend. The thing to remember is that it always makes sense to help the other person make that distinction. Third, not every no has to be a solid no. Sometimes a compromise can be called for. It could be that you don't have the time, the bandwidth, or the resources to maybe chair that committee, but you still have the ability to serve. This doesn't mean that you should find a compromise for everything you're asked to do. It's okay sometimes to see if there's some way you can still be involved without stretching yourself or having to put in the full commitment it would require. Fourth, no doesn't come with a guilt trip. Just as there's no harm in someone asking for your help with something, you also have equal right to just say no. It's part of the give and take of everyday life. If you've considered the request and you've thought about it and you've prayed about it and you felt like saying no was the right thing to do, then you have to go with your instincts. You say no and you mean it, period. Fifth, no doesn't come with an apology. The moment you say you're sorry, you're showing that you're wavering and you're putting yourself in a position of weakness. Your no means no. That's it. You don't need to make any excuses. You don't have to give a story. You don't even have to give a reason why. A polite response of, "Thanks for asking, but I can't help with that," is all you truly need to say. No doesn't have to be daunting. It doesn't have to be scary, but it does have the ability to save your sanity. Learn how to use no effectively and your life will become infinitely easier. Thankfully, it's an easy skill to learn. It's really as simple as just saying no.